before we jump into the gaming, I know you guys aren't going to be happy, but we do have to talk about the big news that dropped today. I don't know if you saw. We're going to talk about it very briefly. Whine About It is coming to an end. Why do I look like I'm streaming from an iPhone? Why do I look like that? How is that even, how do I even move it? What is this camera? This is like those reaction cams that people do in YouTube shorts. What? I don't know how to fix it. Boom. W. Wait, kind of W. Close enough. Good enough. I'm not gonna do better than that, man. I'm washed. I don't have to tell you. All right. Yeah, if you guys didn't hear, there's a big Whine About It update today. End of an era, not clickbait. Not a clickbait video. It's finally been announced, but Maya is leaving Whine About It. She's leaving Whine About It to focus on Alveus. And joining Whine About It is Valkyrae. Ray is swapping in and hopping into to the Whine About It podium. The Whine About It, I don't know what to call it. Stadium? She's joining Whine About It, basically. I cried. Yeah, I think they cried recording it. It was a sad affair. It should have been Nick. Spoilers, I didn't finish the episode. Okay, this isn't like what happens to Lelouch in Code Geass. All right, this is just like it's not like a spoiler situation here. Don't say L spoilers. I'm not trying to spoil it. Yeah, basically Maya has been traded for Valkyrae in the podcasting space, and in exchange, Alveus gets more Maya time. She's signing a full-time contract with Alveus. Can you explain this in terms of speedrunning? The famous duo Park and Harbor and Lil Aggie have stopped playing Elden Ring two-handed speedruns together, and Squeaks is now taking place so Park and Harbor can focus on helping animals. No, I can't do it. I really tried. I can't do it. I tried. I don't know why it's too complicated. No, I can't do it. But anyway, that's a big update in the Whine About It world. And then there's a couple more things I want to talk about. The first one is I got a tweet, okay? I got a tweet that kind of shook me to my core today. I can't be the only one who thought you were going to talk about Diddy. Yeah, how did Diddy not get slapped with more charges? I feel like I heard he's not going to serve jail time, money, and he's rich. I guess that does help. You get a lot better lawyers. I thought you were going to talk about the brownies, like the Jason and Sakura brownies. Guys, I'm not Kason, all right? When I hit 30, maybe I start doing stuff like that, but for now, I'm still 29. Yeah, I turned 30 soon. I turned 30 pretty soon here. I do turn 30 in 4 days. There's nothing illegal about baby oil. Okay, maybe don't put like the Ludwig cheer emoji next to that. I'm not like stamp of approval to that. I'm not like a stamp of approval on that point. I think it's a bad point per se. But I did see an update that's happening to YouTube. I don't know if you guys saw this, but there's an update happening to YouTube where they're cracking down on unoriginal content with a major monetization change. And starting July 15th, channels that do not meaningfully transform clips risk losing monetization, which includes reaction channels, compilation pages, and more, which is kind of an interesting change. Like, I think on one hand, it's like a good change. On another hand, I wonder how it'll affect channels who are like sanctioned clip channels, like maybe like The Librarian as an instant, but The Librarian does edit. So I'm curious how it'll work. But I bring it up because, I've actually been mostly off X the Everything app. I basically only open it up to talk to Grok to figure out what's real and not real in the world. But I got a tweet that really stung me. I got a tweet that's really sat with me. And I almost have trouble sleeping because the tweet, which was just a simple reply saying Ludwig is so over because I don't make original content. And my first thought is I read it and I went, no, tip to tip. And then I was like, oh, fuck, that was 3 months ago. And today we're ripping off Northern Lion and we're playing Horse Girl Game. Okay. Also, chat, I want to do a bigger deep dive, but I don't have a lot of time today. I'm going to try to do a bigger deep dive on July 5th, I think, on Stop Destroying Games or Stop Killing Games, because I think it's going to pass. I just watched the Charlie videos on it. I just heard about this. I did too. And I'm almost positive I experienced this the same way a lot of you guys did, which was didn't really know what this was, saw a bunch of people who were incredibly mad at Pirate Software, was like, why are people so mad at Pirate Software? Clicked it and then discovered the initiative. And then my outcome from it is, oh, well, this is a pretty good initiative. And the initiative has jumped from, I think, 500,000 signatures to 900,000 in just like a couple of weeks, if even. Can you give a TLDR about what it is? Yeah, basically there's an ability to have the European Union discuss something if they're able to get 1 million residents of the European Union nations to sign something. And this specific initiative is to have publishers or developers really, I guess, when they create games, force them to allow the game to keep existing after they're done with the game. So like if it's a live service game that requires a server to operate, allow the community or somebody to take over that live service game so it can continue to be played. So if you spend $60 on a game, your $60 is not like a rental that only lasts as long as the game's developers or publishers want it to last. Because, right now, we're in an era where you can't buy a game anymore. Nobody's buying games. It's all becoming a little bit of a scam. We used to be able to just buy a game. You have the game, you play the game. If you want to play it on a friend's console, you can bring it over to your friend's house, you can play the game. And now, if you even attempt to buy physical games sometimes, you can't play it offline.
I love games.
You're basically buying like a little, access code that downloads the game onto your console. And then sometimes like hard locks itself to your console and you can't play it on somebody else's console. And if you download it software only, that happens all the time. And then if they stop supporting the game, this online service game, sometimes like you can't even operate the game that you bought. Before you would buy a physical product, now it's like you're buying access to a club, and when they close the club down, goodbye. Is he talking about the Diddy verdict? I don't know why people keep saying that. I feel like I'm entering a point where now I'm being silent on the Diddy subject, which I don't want to be silent on the Diddy subject. I just didn't come in planning to talk about the Diddy subject because I didn't know. The only thing I know about the Diddy subject is Charlie's video. I'm not silent about it. I just watched Charlie's video. That's all my knowledge about it. I can just rehash what Charlie said. Has Pete inspired you? Pete has inspired me. Anyway, if you're a member of the European Union, you can sign this. I think they need 1 million signatures. The really cool thing about Europe is they make actionable change based off of what the citizens of their union want, which I don't think happens in America. In America, they come up with a bill that nobody wants and somehow it still passes. And whatever people do want, even if it has like a 70% like agreement that it's a good thing, they still don't do. So the EU is cool for that. And it's made tangible changes for people outside of the European Union. Like, for example, I have an iPhone. This is my phone. This is my case, by the way. I made this case. But I have an iPhone and it has a USB-C charger. And that's thanks to the European Union, because the European Union ruled that Apple's practice of forcing lightning cables onto their products was like unethical because it made everybody buy their specific chargers as opposed to a universal USB-C charger. And now we get USB-C chargers. Thank you to the EU. They also banned Red 40, but unfortunately, American companies did not. They did not decide to ban Red 40 from their products. They just make 2 products, one for Europeans, one for Americans. So we still get yummy Red 40. But maybe the Stop Destroying Games initiative will trickle down to America. Maybe publishers, presumably if the publisher had to make a game, have some sort of like life after they're done supporting it, that would help American users too, presumably.